Listen, I know we've all been in that draft mode where that one guy is still in the 18th minute while everyone else has finished. Check out this Muppet. How do we sort that? I'm going to show you today how to set up the perfect draft mode so that you and your friends can enjoy it, you can get through it in a timely manner, and everyone can have a bit of fun and a good time. Hello guys, I'm Simaju, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your own drafts in FM22. I've got a little bit of practice at it. I host Sunday Night Draft, FM Draft Rankings, Summer Cup, and the Winter Cup. I've had plenty of practice in setting up drafts, so I'm going to show you how. But if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and press the like button. You can also come join me over on Twitch and take part in some of these drafts every Sunday. Okay, let's take a look. Alright, so here we are at the start of the game. Obviously, I'm going to click on Start a New Game. And that's going to come up with 5 options, and you're going to choose Fancy Draft. Easy stuff so far. It's going to take just a second to load in, and then we can get setting up. Once we get to this screen, some of you may be more used to pressing that Join Draft button, particularly if you've taken part in other people's drafts. Quick Start is not much use. It'll probably try and find a game for you, and then it will chuck you to the Create Draft screen. We just want to create draft, so let's start right there. Gonna load up the database for us. And we're going to get a few options here. You see my video from last week, which is on new additions to draft mode. You're going to see that there is now that group stage and knockouts. Go back and watch that if you haven't already. That will give you a good idea of what is new in draft mode this year. But I'm just going to show you how you can set one up right now. So starting at the top here, you have to choose what format you would like your draft in. You can do group stage and knockout. Bearing in mind, if you do group stage and knockout, you have to have the exact number of players. You can choose a straight knockout. With this, you can have one-legged or two-legged ties. I will come back to that shortly. Or you can have a league where everyone plays each other a number of times. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and choose a league because it gives us a couple of extra options. Next thing, see here, competition name. So you can name it whatever you like. Maybe I'm going to name mine Size Draft. There we go, Size Draft. I'm going to come over here. You're going to see the budget. You can go as low as 50 million, go all the way up to 700, or unlimited if you want to give the people in your draft as much money as they like. You could choose somewhere in between. So maybe we choose 300. 300 seems fair. The next place you're going to want to go is over here to the draft pool. You can leave it as the world pool. That'll give you the highest reputation players in the game. There's 6,000 of them, give or take. Or you can press this create custom button. You can choose either nationalities, players from any nationality in the world. Say we only want English players, we can go choose England. We could pair that up with players based in only players based in Oceania. And we could also choose certain leagues. So if we wanted to choose Premier League, perhaps. There we go. And if you want, you can limit that by transfer value. It's going to give me 23,000 with the 3 things I'm chosen. So English players, players in Oceania, and players from the Premier League. But maybe I only want players who are over 20 million. That's going to cut out a whole load of players. Only 112 over 20 million. Probably not going to be enough for us to draft with. So maybe we get rid of that. In fact, it's going to go with English players. That'll give us 18,000 players, which is quite a lot. I wouldn't recommend going too high because it's going to slow down your game, make it very difficult for the players taking part. It's going to lag out quite a lot. If you set up a shortlist you quite like, of course, you can save it, or you can load one in if you find one on the Steam Workshop, or someone sends you one. I'm going to press OK. Now you'll see we've got a custom pool. We can customize this further in the next stage. Okay, if we come over here to the advanced settings, you're going to see first we'll press this more button. It gives us 2 options. The first is about yellow cards. You can have 1 yellow card, 2 yellow cards, 3 yellow cards before you get a suspension. The default is 2. I leave it on 2 normally. And you can turn on or off VAR. That's up to you. The database option is grayed out at the minute. It'll be interesting to see if that changes on launch or with the winter update, what that gives you. Maybe it'll allow you to choose different versions of the database. Maybe even custom databases, which really nice. Shortlist time limit. This is how long you get before the game, or how long the players get before the game. You can go anywhere from 1 minute up to 10 minutes. 5 minutes is the standard. Next is the draft around time. This is how long each of your participants are going to have to make their picks. 1 minute is the standard. If you're playing with people overseas, I'd recommend 1 minute 30. If you have a lot of players, more than 16, I would recommend 30 seconds. But 1 minute, if you know 8 players, 1 minute is pretty good. If you do a league, you get this button, additional midterm draft. What that will do is halfway through the league stages, if you're playing 2 matches, it'll be after everyone's played once, you'll be able to get rid of any players you don't like, and the draft process will start over again, and you can draft in players to replace them with the budget you've freed up. And anyone can take those players that you have freed up as well. It's quite interesting. You don't see it used very often because most people don't do leagues with more than 2 matches. But it's an interesting concept. I'm just going to show you what option you get on knockout, which is 2-legged ties. You can turn it off to 1-legged ties. You have a lot of people in, that might be a good idea. Same with the group stage and knockouts. You can turn off 2-legged ties. You can also choose in the group stage and knockouts what kind of format you need. And this is where I was saying you need the exact number of players. If you have 2 groups of 4 teams, you need exactly 8 players. 4 of 4, 16, and 8 of 4, you need exactly 32 players. Of course, you can add AIs, but you can't have more. You can't have 1 extra, and you can't have 1 less.
Your math is blowing my mind.
With the knockouts, if you have more players than 2, 4, 16, then it's just going to give you players with buys in the first round. And with the league, if you have an even number, everyone will just play everyone. And if you have an odd number, someone will have a week off. Now here on the league, you can also choose how many matches you play against each person. Between 2 and 5. It would be quite nice to have 1, but it's not there. If you want your friends to join, you're going to have to do a couple of things. You have an option here. Who can join? Friends online. Local players only, so that would be literally players on your computer. Friends online is people in your Steam, or if you set it up, also your Epic Games friends list, maybe your Windows Games list as well. Or anyone online allows anyone to join. You can then set a password. For example, I was doing a Halloween password tonight, so my password that I've typed in is Halloween 2021, and you can press next. Just going to set up the database. And here we are at a new screen that I showed off last week in my video where we can add some extra restrictions. So throughout the whole of the draft, you see here all picks. Throughout the whole of the draft, I can add some restrictions. So for example, if I wanted only English players, again, I could do it from here. If I want only players at most 30 years old, I can do that. And it will tell me at the bottom how many players are left. And you can add any of these restrictions. Third foot, so left, right, either. And nationality, you can add division, height, and you can also see you can do and or statements here. In addition to that, you can press this range button. So you can make it so that between the 1st and 5th, 6th to 10th, 11th to 15th, 16th to 20th, 21st to 25th pick, you can add those restrictions. Let's say your 21st to 25th pick, you only want players over the age of 19, under 19. And add in a restriction just to show you how that works. And then I'm going to go ahead and press the create competition button that is underneath my head. It's here, I guarantee it. Next, it's going to take you to the create a manager screen. Here you can choose one of the managers you've already got, or you can create a new one. And then it's going to take you to create a club. So you can add in a club. I've got some clubs here. My own club. There we go. There's a picture of me. Then I'm going to press confirm. Unfortunately, if you're the host, you do have to control the team. There is a little sneaky way around this. I can teach you maybe in a future video. Make sure you subscribe, and then I can show you. Once we've hit confirm, we're going to see our manager appears in the game. Here we are. We're the first person in. Here is our team. Here's my user. I've moved my camera up a little bit so you can see the buttons underneath, but at this point, this is where you can start inviting your friends, either by giving them the server name and the password, or you can press the invite friends button, open up a list of your friends. I haven't got any friends right now, so I've got a couple of choices here. Either I can add another human manager, so I can add another version of myself, or I can add some AI clubs. So you can have as many managers as you like in the draft, and it will switch between them if you're the host. I'm going to add an AI one. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and add Thursday night co-host Tony Jameson. There we go. Let's add him in. You see it's added him in as an AI. If I wanted, I can press this little minus button if I want to kick him from it. Also, I can right click on name, my name. If there was a real player there, I'd be able to kick them. You get some options. Ban them to kick them. Someone's having problems joining, kicking them can often help. You can kick them and then they can rejoin. Now, something new this year, you can add the draft order. I can say that I want to go first, or only to go first, or we can leave it as random. Down here at the bottom left, you can see reverse order after each round. This means it will snake, so it'll go 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to go ahead and tick that. That will make it like it was in FM21 in a snake, what's called a snake. So once we are done adding people, we can go ahead and we can begin the draft. I'm going to press begin draft. It's going to ask me if I finished entering teams, and I'm yes. And then it's going to take us to the draft mode. Okay, first it's going to drop us here in the shortlist. You see I've got 5 minutes. See my time is dropping down. Go ahead and save it. Do other things, but I can't pause it right here. I'm going to go ahead and ready up. When everyone's readied up, it will progress no matter how much time left. Here we go. So it's now confirming that I have the first pick. Sometimes that bugs out, that little screen, and you have to click through it a few times. I've got 1 minute to make my pick now. Now, as control of the draft, you have a new option. You can pause. People can still make picks. Watch this. I can make the pick while it's paused up. Say I pick Jack Harrison. Then it will go across Tony's team and he'll have 5 seconds. See, it should be snaking right now. It'll be Tony. Tony should get 2 picks and then I should get 2. There's some other options for you in draft mode. I'm going to show you one more. If you press over here on draft restrictions, you will see if I move my camera down slightly that 21st to 25th pick has those restrictions that we set earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and finish picking. It's going to finish up my picks for me, but there is one other thing I would like to show you. Okay, once we get to the end of the draft, we can press this continue button down here. Make sure everyone in your draft presses the continue button. Let's say someone doesn't, and you can do this at any time during the draft. If you're waiting on someone, you can go to the options down here at the bottom left. You can go to the game status. Then you'll get this list, much like at the start of the game. You get this option to force continue all. You can choose to force continue someone in 5 seconds. If I do that right now, it's going to force continue me, in fact. There we go. Now it's going to ask me to save the game. I'm going to save. And one other thing I recommend you do, particularly if you have a lot of people in your draft, you can come here to your preferences. You can go to online game preferences. You can change your password here. You can change who can join your game here. You can change the time in which it's open, although not really necessary. I recommend you change a couple of things here down in matches. You put it at the minimum highlight mode you would allow for the pace you would like, probably key or extended. If you're playing full match or comprehensive, you could be in the draft for a long time, unless there's very few of you. You can change the slowest highlight speed and replay speed, so this will fix it for everybody in your draft. Over here on the right hand side, the processing, you can force the game to continue in certain conditions. I recommend these settings, so browsing after 5 seconds, unresponded after 5 seconds, important messages after 5 seconds. And then in the pre-match, you can set it to 4 or 5 minutes or however long you like. I mean, you can put that on no time limit if you like, just because it will force everyone to the pre-match screen. Otherwise, you'll have editing their tactics, waiting for other people, and then they press continue, and then you're waiting for the other people then to do their tactics. So just force everyone through to the match day and then have them do their tactic. Now, if anyone needs to leave your draft at any point, if they're knocked out, they can just straight up leave. If they've still got matches to play, what they can do is they can press actions, go on holiday, and there's an option for the AI to keep playing with their tactics, and it will let them disconnect from the server that way. Hopefully that gives you some good tips to set up your own draft mode drafts. I forgot to record an ending to this video almost, but I've come back, I've recorded one. It's just as well, because I noticed one new little thing they added in on the full release. This little screen here shows up when you're now in the lobby, so everyone can see the draft restrictions before you drop into the game. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you give us a thumbs up down below and press that subscribe button. Follow me over on twitch.tv/Simaggio as well. Come take part in my Sunday drafts if you like. We do them every Sunday. Open for everyone to join. Come get involved. Cheers guys, I'll see you next time.